there's a car show in Kenosha.
A car show? I don't want to go to a car show in Kenosha. I want 3 more months with my baby boy. And now they're gone because of your bull. Way to go, dumbass!
Pardon the interruption, but I am the Captain Ron Johnson. Reese, it seems like it's a very interesting week for upsets to happen. What are your thoughts on that?
Cap, all I gotta say is, I think Justin Roberts said it best a couple months back. Ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan right now.
That being said, folks, this interruption, well worth the price for admission. Dwayne, Danny, hope you guys are watching, because this is going to be the good one. Welcome to Week 10.
Listen. I am riding, no breaking me. I am riding, no shaking me. I am riding, no earthquake kiss me. I am riding, I am riding, I am riding, no breaking me. I am riding, no shaking me. I am riding, no earthquake kiss me. I am riding, I am riding, I am riding. Beside me before you try to do me a solid. Take a short walk in my shoes, my boots, my kicks, my flip-flops, whatever. I done seen rain and I ain't just talking weather, but I'm a survivor. Shame on you if you thought I would ever leave. I'ma be right there where the legends be. I am unbreakable, I'm rock, I am never weak. I feel weak sometimes, but you'll never see. I'm going through one of the roughest times of my entire life right now. Still I got a slight smile, knowing there's gonna be better days like Tupac said. And we gon' make it like even them 2 locks said. Who not better about something? Life's about struggling and overcoming your shortcomings, not about huffing and puffing and crying without doing nothing. Take them sour lemons, make lemonade and stop something. I am riding, no breaking me. I am riding, no shaking me. I am riding, no earthquake.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Aftermath. And before we even start, we'd like to take this time, myself, Rockin' Reese, Team Collision, as well as the rest of the entire crew and family of Bleacher Birds, ready to send thoughts, prayers, condolences, and big salutes to Seattle Sea Dragons player Chris Smith, who unexpectedly died last week. The team played hard for you. The fans chanted harder for you. And while I'm in a state of disarray on a personal and professional level, it just feels damn good to be able to sit here and say it was a pleasure watching you work, and you will be truly missed. Reese, you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, like I said, this was like a shock because, like you just seeing this brother just on the field a couple days ago, and then you hear about the fact that he passed away, and especially we're also just coming off of the Damar Hamlin incident just a few weeks prior to this, and I'm like, man, I say for anybody that says why sometimes football players get these big lucrative contracts, this be the reason why, because if this young dude was probably doing anything else, odds are his family will probably be struggling right now to raise the funds for him. But guess what? Now, thanks to at least his time within the NFL and then here at the XFL as well, now that's going to be one less burden one less burden for his family to deal with. And truthfully, we was hoping this wouldn't have to be a burden, like at least not at this point in time, because we're just hoping that the only thing that his family would have to deal with was probably him just like say, I need some ice for my back right now because I just had this game. And, I was delivering some hard hits, but I might have jacked myself up a little bit. But unfortunately, sometimes in life, yeah, we tend to have decent. We tend to like lose people prior, way too soon than they should. And thoughts, prayers to the family and friends, Chris Smith.
My biggest thing has been every ounce of animosity you can sit here and think of. You don't have it in this very juncture. And I definitely applaud the Seattle Sea Dragons for all the hard work, all the effort. I definitely applaud the management of the XFL, the ownership, for them basically, surrounding themselves, showing this love and appreciation to this franchise, this city, these fans, this team, and for them to actually do what they did. I mean, this is something, I get that the NFL is a big conglomerate. I understand. But this is the kind of thing that we didn't really get to see much in the NFL. I mean, when Sean Taylor got killed, when Damar Hamlin went down, I think that was probably one of the first times we actually got to see the NFL actually come together for a player who is sacrificing their livelihoods, their bodies for this game. So
Pat Tillman obviously comes.
Tillman, obviously a big one, and that with everything that has transpired and gone on up to this point, it is actually a nice change of pace to see a league that actually gives a damn about every player on its team, which brings up the reason why today is going down. We know what has happened. The playoffs are pretty much set. So, folks, while we are being somber and respectful, we are still going to unleash hell because that's what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aftermath. Welcome to XFL, the Aftermath, Week 10. Week 10. Yes, I really honestly just thought of it. I wish I actually had that Ty Dillinger moment. Damn, this would have been the perfect opportunity for it. I'll have to literally think about this for next season when basically, the 10-week schedule comes up. But we have our Final Four. And while there have been a lot of people on Twitter that has actually been going off at the XFL for the fact of the ending of this regular season. It doesn't mean this is the first time the regular season has actually ended in the XFL since the first one. So this is a big improvement. And big congrats goes out to everybody who showed support to the XFL. It was greatly appreciated. We had a lot of new ones. We had the beer snake. We had the lemon drops. We had the bottle hawks, which I think is the greatest names I ever heard. We even had the Dragon's Lair in Seattle. And I'm not sure if that's legitimate or not, but if it is, and you guys decide to use it, just send me my check. I'm in Vancouver, so let's run with that. We also, had basically a big showing from Brahma's Nation. I don't know if they actually come up with a specific name for their dome yet, but I'm almost certain they'll have one before the season's over. The Battle Dome obviously was a big one for St. Louis. The Defenders definitely improved and leaps and bounds, considering the fact they pretty much were the powerhouse team of the entire season. And I think mainly people are pissed off right now. People are pissed off only because of the fact that we had an NFL-like ending, and the fact that a team that actually deserved to go to the playoffs was shut out. And I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of people is that, damn, it cannot have gotten any better or any worse when it basically, if you are a Battlehawks fan, and obviously I am decked out in St. Louis because no matter what the circumstances call, I will always be St. Louis. You should have seen me when I realized the Blues weren't going to the playoffs when their season ended. And of course,
although you still got Barbashev for the Golden Knights, and you did have Tarasenko for the Rangers, so you got a couple of them.
So I mean, it is a big deal, and it is a great thing. I think that the season itself actually ended pretty well, and I kind of feel like I think that it was kind of one of those things. So I think we just might as well just go ahead and just pull this, pull this Band-Aid off and let's just get this done. Right, he's my guy.
Thanks, sir.
That was perfect. Reese, you know what to do. Let's run with it.
Let's throw it back to Saturday at the Battle Dome, where the St. Louis Battlehawks set a new XFL record, scoring 53. That's right, folks. You heard it. 53 points, easily dismantling the Orlando Guardians, 53-28. Well, actually, I shouldn't say easily because they were actually trailing in this. Yeah, oh no, actually, no, they weren't.
And like
actually,
one
they were
quarter,
in the first.
I think
They
was
were
the best.
the first quarter. There was, but yeah, the second and third quarters. Yeah, that was just a nightmare. By the way, before I go to the numbers, Cap, I'm going to throw a question for you.
Shoot.
Who do you think had the previous record for most points in the XFL history?
I feel like it was either DC or even LA.
You'd be right. It would be the Los Angeles Wildcats, who had 41. And ironically enough, on the last week of the XFL season before it was shut down due to the COVID pandemic. Yeah.
You want to talk about somebody who was already hyped up and excited. I mean, I only got to see maybe the third quarter of that game because I decided to spend my only day off of the week with my wife. It's happened to coincide with the fact that they happen to be playing, but I ain't going to hold that much against me or against anybody because I still got to at least sit here and watch the game via the ESPN app. Big thanks to that. And big thanks to my wife as well for putting up with my crazy madness, like in a farmer's market here in Vancouver. But it was a game that the Battlehawks knew what needed to be done, and they understood the assignment. Now, granted, the defense did not make it a complete and total gang-style beatdown, but I have to give credit's due. The Guardians fought to the very end, and I got to give a shout-out to basically the fans of the Battlehawks because I believe I saw a video after the game was over and the Guardians were leaving the field. One of the members of the Bottle Hawks actually sat here and actually gave, or as I call them the Bottle Hawks, but they call themselves the Battle Nets, which I'm good either way on either one of those. They actually sat here and presented a gold medal to one of the Orlando Guardians players, just basically thanking them for at least the entertainment, the fun. Thanks for at least participating this season, because most teams who were in there going 0 for shit, or even 1 for shit for that matter, they kind of just go through the motions. But Orlando fought in this game, and I'm happy for the fact that they fought hard in this game because, quite frankly, it was a necessary thing for them to do, especially with the fact that next season, anything is possible with Orlando. Orlando could become a team that goes from worst to first like that.
Yeah, let's talk about how this game went down for the victorious Battlehawks. The phenomenal AJ McCarron.
AJ, thank you.
28 for 35, 420 yards, and he smoked the Guardians for 16.
That's some good shit. I noticed that too.
I knew you would catch that one.
That's nice. Here, let me hit that, AJ.
Yeah, not 1, not 2, not 3. Damn, I wish I had done. Not 4, not 5, but 6 touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
The offense I was asking for from the Battlehawks the week before against Seattle, they definitely showed up in this one against the Guardians. And granted, it may not have been, against a top tier team, but at least they made their statement. They finished the assignment. They were hoping for basically a miracle on Sunday, And that's honestly, the Battlehawks definitely did everything right in this game, all the way to the point of the defense stepping up, showing up, getting it done. By the time the game was over, the Battlehawks at least had the points for.
Yeah.
But it was the points against that pretty much killed them, which made that magic number for Seattle 34-4 and 34 against.
Yeah. Well, actually, the 34 against was really the number they needed to avoid, but I'll get to that later. Kareem Walker, he had a touchdown in this game for 7 carries for 33 yards, but it was the receiving core who was really feasting. Hakeem Butler, 9 catches, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Darius Shepard, 6 catches, 96 yards and a touchdown. Stephen Mitchell, 4 catches for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, I should mention Shepard was a perfect 6 for 6 in his catches. And let's see, and then Jake Sutherland in his only catch of the game with a 5-yard touchdown. Yeah. Only really bad thing was Butler did have a fumble, but it was recovered by St. Louis. So there. Defensively, let's see. Elon Lumor, 2 sacks on the day. LaKayla London with the second half. And let's see, who got the other one? And then Carson Wells had the other half sack. So 4 on the day for that. But then also interceptions. Brandon Sebastian with 2. Lucas Dennis with 1. Yep. And then the only, negative thing was Donald Hegman did miss one of his 2 field goal attempts. But, yeah, it didn't really matter all that much.
Pretty much.
Guardians, their stats, look at this. Quentin Dormady, 18 for 24, 188, 2 touchdowns, no picks. DeAndre Francois was 10 for 17 for 93 yards. He had a touchdown, but 2 interceptions. And then Mac Brown, not to be confused with Mac Jones.
Who?
Mac Jones. Yeah, not to be Mac Brown, he was 1 for 2. He had a touchdown, and he also had an interception.
Just to be clear, folks, it ain't the coach from Texas either. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. Guardians just didn't even show up in a run game. Jordan Thomas still had a decent 4 catches, 109 yards and a touchdown. Charleston Rambo, went Stallone and 5 catches, 57 yards and a touchdown. Katie Cannon, apparently he decided not to make like Nick and score as many touchdowns as Nick gave birth to kids. And Andrew Hill, 5 catches, 47 yards and a touchdown. Cap, I do love that one. All right, and then Justin Rogers did have a fumble, but the Guardians recovered that one. Nick Coe had the only sack for the Guardians in this game. And Jose Vargas missed his only field goal attempt.
With your permission, Reese,
Yep.
I'd like to cover the second game of the Saturday Night Fever because I'm in a shock.
By all means.
So the Battlehawks did their job, but they knew for a fact that they were playing the first game of the weekend. They knew Seattle had the last game of the weekend. That can either be detrimental or that could be in your favor. It kind of depends on what the circumstances goes. But we'll get to the Sunday doubleheader in just momentarily. But we're going to talk about Saturday night, which also had playoff implications. In fact, every game had playoff implications, to put it as nicely as possible. San Antonio.
To start the week.
Well, in fairness, he's saying to start the week every day had playoff implications. San Antonio needed to win out to punch their ticket to the playoffs and hope for a Renegades loss on Sunday. The good news is, the Renegades apparently were having a massive siesta, and we'll blame it on the Cowboys, but I digress. The bad news, however, it came down to a kick for the San Antonio Brahmas. The Brahmas on the cusp of possibly pulling off an upset that would punch their ticket to the XFL South Division Championship game against Houston, and it fell 1 point short. This wasn't just a Frank Costanza thing. This was a no. This like you have to feel bad for the Brahmas, and it basically turned out to be that way. Defenders survive the Brahmas 29-28, which makes me sweat bullets about my picks for this weekend, which I'm hopefully going to be we're going to be making momentarily. 29-28 was the final. The defenders hold on, survive, and that kick pretty much became a massive big deal for those guys. Jordan Ta'amu actually went 15-22 for 271 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Avoided the rush, which meant he had no sacks. Derek King, 3 of 4, 33 yards. 2 touchdowns and an interception for Ta'amu as well, which is a shocking thing because they actually had a passer on the field rather than basically a Josh Allen knockoff. Derek King, 3 of 4, 33 yards, and he was actually sacked once for 2 yards. Jordan Ta'amu still again became the X factor on the ground game as he carried for 8 yards for 45 yards and a touchdown. Abram Smith, 10 carries for 44 yards. So he has been kind of declined a little bit since that 200-plus yard performance against St. Louis a few weeks ago. Derek King, 1 carry, 1 yard. I can throw up a finger on that, but I'm not going to go there. And, of course, damn, it pays to be lucky sometimes in regards to Lucky Jackson. 3 catches, 84 yards, no touchdowns, which is a shocker because Lucky Jackson is usually like a big touchdown guru. Yeah. However, Alex Ellis became a quiet X factor, a nice backup to the fact that Lucky Jackson most likely was getting heavily covered. Alex Ellis, 4 catches for 25 yards, and 2 of those catches were indeed touchdowns. And the strange part about all this, Lucky, he fumbled and lost 1. That was the biggest thing for him. As far as defensive-wise, 2 sacks, 2 sacks for 11 yards. Andre Mincy with half a sack. Let's keep going. Just Jacob Panasic with half a sack, and Jarrell Owens. Jarrell, not Terrell, with a sack of his own. I'm waiting for Terrell Owens to start making his power play to try to basically make a recovery and come back and possibly say you're playing the XFL like he did for the Arena League, which was crap then too. Jack Cohen actually had almost a flawless game. 34-48, 312 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, although he was sacked twice. Jacques Patrick, he's not French, I believe, but that could be debatable. 16 carries for 41 yards and a pair of touchdowns of his own. John Hillman, 6 carries for 13 yards and a touchdown as well. And, of course, receiving-wise, Landon Akers almost had a 100-yard game, 8 carries for 90 yards, but no touchdowns from the receiving corps, which is very interesting. But it comes down to the big moment, the one that actually has everybody up in arms. Parker Romo became Cody Romo. He did go 2 of 3, and that third field goal attempt was the one that cost the San Antonio Brahmas a shot at the postseason, a shot at the playoffs, and it was, oh Lord. It was bad. 6 plays, 17 yards, 2 yards, and they missed that last field goal. The Brahmas come just 1 point short of their destination for the XFL South Championship against Houston. So by default, and I use that term very, very heavily in this case, if you haven't figured it out by now, Arlington, they were going to wake up the next morning and they were going to be going to the playoffs, win or lose, which would probably explain Sunday morning.
Yeah, and I was to give a thought on this one. There's also the extra story of this one because, man, you have all right, you get the conversions. Yeah. that was the difference maker in this one because, yeah, San Antonio had one that they failed to convert, and then that forced like the long field goal. Yeah, but then let's go to what was the decisive play. You finally get the lead, 28-22. All you got to do now is keep DC out of the end zone and get it. But then, man,
honestly,
went off at the end of that game.
If you ain't gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. Even when it's like right there at the tip, at the cusp, at the moment that the world is waiting for. Once again, it was too damn easy for DC to survive another onslaught because
It's free real estate.
apparently people actually get a kick out of us doing that. So I think we should actually keep going with that. But hey, that's just me.
Hey, USFL, here's your challenge, everybody. Yeah.
Yes, we will be doing a USFL Aftermath officially. If basically Reese is game with it, we're game with it. So we'll keep this ball rolling. I know we're a couple of weeks behind, but that's why we have our partners, Bleacher Brothers, Mark Cass. If you haven't seen him, go check him out on YouTube. He is out. They are also doing a couple of nice little who won the weeks in regards to XFL versus USFL. This is going to be a big one this weekend just because of the fact that they do have the division championships in regards to the SFL, but the USFL, they might have some problems trying to compete.
Yeah, matter of fact, at least, because they are running both. Yeah, because they are running both. Because I knew Sunday they'll have an issue.
Yes, in fairness, they only got to compete with one game on Saturday and one game on Sunday, so that may work out to their advantage. Now let's just see if the butts will go in the seats when it comes to USFL. And obviously, we will try to make this right. We'll try to get this thing set as good as we can and see what we can actually pull out. But we will by hook or by crook. And again, if he's game with it, we will do a USFL Aftermath, and I will start pulling whatever I can to start making an intro for those guys, so that way we can sit here and give them the proper tribute and proper welcome to the No Filter crew.
Yeah, of course. Then that takes us to Bloody Sunday,
which apparently was real bloody. Ugh. Gross.
Yeah, because
I'm just curious, Reese. Maybe you can help me with this one. Wasn't Arlington supposed to be the team that put it all on the line, and Houston was supposed to be the guys that maybe played the backups?
Yeah, that was well, at least after San Antonio lost, that was supposed to be the general cusp.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem I've got, though. Bob Stoops has had some massive ass whoopings given to him. One of those ass whoopings happens to be from a certain college that I just cannot put on the tip of my tongue. But there is a guy who reminds him every chance he gets, by the name of Tim Tebow, who keeps reminding him that, hey, I beat your quarterback. But I digress. What the hell happened on Sunday? Because I expected so much better from the Renegades. What the shit biscuit was this?
I'll tell you one thing. It's a reason to not watch the XFL South Championship next weekend.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're a sadomasochist and just love the thought of trying to see if you can find a safe word for Arlington, he may be right on that because
Roughnecks 25, Renegades 9. Let's take a look at how it got there. Yeah, Fordham.
Let's go better, but sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Fordham Roughnecks. Cole. Yeah, Cole. You not stupid. McDonald. Yeah, shout out there, Tommy. Yeah. 10 for 11. Near perfect game. 120 yards, and that one incomplete pass, yeah, that was his interception of the game. But
So no touchdowns?
no touchdowns at all.
So he wasn't cold, baby,
Nope.
but he was stupid.
Yeah. But yeah, outside of that, Caleb Ellaby also 4 for 7 for 28 yards. Yeah, the touchdowns actually came in the run game. Jeremy Cox, 21 carries, 120 yards. He got a touchdown. And then Cole McDonald, yeah. Yeah, he didn't. He may have had a farm, but he might have had a little free real estate with this one. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he ran one in, 8 carries for 66 yards in the touchdown.
Do you honestly want to push the free real estate window on this one?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Quiet day for the receivers. Let's see who led this one. Justice Smith, 3 catches for 51 yards. Tavon Salter, 4 for 47. All right, sacks. They had 2 on the day, one from Trevin Mason, the other from Trent Harris. And let's see, Tavante Beckett had the lone interception. Actually, he had a pick 6. I mean, that's right. Chiseled, got to channel you. Had that make pick 6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yep.
Yep. That's all you got?
Yeah, let's see. And then, of course, Austin.
Wait.
Kicks.
Who did the pick? Which team did the pick 6?
The Roughnecks got him.
Okay, I'm gonna make this right. Can I get a pick 6? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Bob Snoop's defense ain't shit. You're welcome, Chiseled. Be nice to my Battlehawks when you do your game highlight commentary, please.
Yeah, and for the Renegades, who were probably more missing than Lorenzo Lamas in 1996 when the show got canceled. It was 22 for 36, 205 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Yeah, boy, what's up with the quarterbacks yesterday?
No comment.
Yeah. Let's see. Cap, we got another one. Oh Lord, we got another one of these. So I had to. It's been a little while since I last did this one.
Okay.
Yeah, remember a couple weeks ago when I brought up teams that actually, when one player would actually outrun an entire team by himself?
Yes.
Yeah. In this case, I have 2. And here's the sad part. Now, remind you, Cole McDonald only had 6
Had a farm.
Yeah. Yeah. Cole McDonald only had 66. The Renegades combined only ran for 55.
So in this case, Cole McDonald had some runs. E-I-E-I. Oh, shit!
Yeah, but thankfully it wasn't from eating at McDonald's, allegedly. Yeah, folks.
We ain't going there yet.
Let's see. And then receiving, he had Brian Herrion had the tops of 5 for 47. Yeah, I'm trying to think, how the hell did he even get any of these touchdowns? Devontae Lambert, yeah, and Luis Perez each had a fumbled, but the Renegades managed to recover both of them. Yeah.
But they still only scored 9 points, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Colin Spooler with the sack, and Jordan Miller had an interception. I'm trying to find out where here's why. Taylor Russolino was the only Renegade that showed up.
That's it. Yeah,
it's pretty much all 3 field goals in this game.
I am all for, being, that guy and giving respect's due, but the very fact that we're still talking about this game is living proof of how dedicated we are to the craft. But holy mother of twat waffles, what the shit biscuit? I understand. The Renegades already knew going into this game. It's almost ironic that on Saturday, you had the two teams who were fighting for playoff spots that pretty much did their jobs or close to did their jobs and were hoping for some help on Saturday. And then Sunday was kind of like we're just going to sit here. We're just going to let this one just run with it. And if you haven't figured out by now, Twitter was literally calling what the shit biscuit. Why are we still watching this? Can we put this Dragons on yet? That was the biggest game. It was the game because the fact is that you had a Bellhawks watch party in St. Louis.
Yep.
You had pretty much everybody from AJ McCarron to Anthony Beck to Mark Cass to the captain to Rock and Reese to everybody literally focused so much on that afternoon game with good damn reason. Because even I was getting excited about it because I'm just kind of like, we might actually do this. Mainly because of the fact that it was 6-0 Seattle at halftime.
Yep.
But in vintage Cowboys fashion, the gunslinger himself, Ben DiNucci, took every single power positivity that I had and took it to Suplex City.
Yeah. Although he didn't exactly look that good. But
No. By all means. He did not look good. However, he did enough to get the job done.
Yep.
Because by the time it was all said and done, oh, Lord. By the time it was all said and done, there was indeed a funeral, but it was not in Seattle.
Yep.
The one time that Battlehawks, that Battle Dome, that the Battlehawks, the Battle Nets were in the driver's seat and were hoping for some help from Vegas. The one time that Vegas decided they did not want to sit here and play like they played against DC or St. Louis or even for that matter for Orlando, they decided they just didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
And because of that,
basically, St. Louis learned sometimes you don't bet on black. And the Sea Dragons, who wind up winning 28-9, clinching the final spot. How did we get there? Ben DiNucci, 26 of 41, 339, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions in this one. Let's see. DiNucci had 4 carries for 41 yards and a rushing touchdown in this one. Josh Flash Gordon, had a stellar game, 9 catches for 115 yards. But it was Juwan Green who with one of the touchdowns on a 4-catch, 88-yard day for him. Jacor Pearson, 3 catches, 42 yards and a touchdown. And Jordan Vesey, 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown. That's what I got. Gordon did have a fumble, but the Sea Dragons recovered it. Backs, Daniel Joseph and Tuzar Skipper each had a sack in this game. And then Quinterio Cole had interception.
Are we still talking about Houston and Arlington?
No, we're in Seattle now.
Okay.
And then Dominic Eberle, missed both of his field goals.
Mm-hmm. So he'll most likely get a nice little chastisement from just the Dons. But the problem I'm having is that you look at the three-headed dragon that is the Hydra of the Seattle Sea Dragons. They managed to make the playoffs with former Cowboys quarterback Ben DiNucci, former Kansas City Chiefs / Dallas Cowboys / something / Seattle Seahawk, Josh Flash Gordon, and former Denver Broncos running back and Houston Texas running back, if I'm not mistaken, Philip Lindsay Lohan. They got us to make the playoffs with 3 former NFL veterans, and Seattle is happy about that. Haven't you guys won enough? You guys won a Super Bowl. Even with Geno Smith, you guys managed to sit here and own your former quarterback, Russell Wilson, and yet you still were not satisfied. That's the part I'm actually pissed about.
Yeah.
I had to get it out. I'm sorry. I had to get it out. I'm supposed to be humble.
I was pissed. Yeah. Vipers. Yeah.
What the?
Yeah. Jalen McClendon, 6 for 21, 201 yards, no touchdowns in it. Interception.
I can't even blame this on the refs or Blowndino over this matter. I want y'all to understand this, Vegas.
Yeah.
You guys have been playing hard all season, and the one time that we need Jalen McClendon to actually play like that quarterback that Rod Woodson says is the future of this of your franchise, he goes out and plays like Ryan Leaf, not Michael Vick, not Jalen Hurts, not even Tim Tebow, not even Patrick Mahomes. He plays like Ryan. He played like Ryan Leaf in this game. That's the problem I'm actually having with this whole scenario.
Yeah,
is the fact that happened.
Yeah, Shy McKenzie had to touchdown, although on a silent day for him. 6 carries for 11 yards. Receiving. Matthew Sexton, only 2 catches, but he did have 119 yards in this one. He had fumbles. McClendon and Sexton each fumbled, but the Vipers managed to recover both of them. Yeah, no sacks for the Vipers defense. Yeah. Marwin Evans and Jamar Summers did have interceptions though. And let's see. Sam Sloman, did have his only field goal attempt, but like I said, this game, the Vipers, they had no venom whatsoever for the Sea Dragons.
Apparently, it was even to the point where even Randy Orton has already filed a petition to have the Vipers' name changed from the Vipers to something else because he is the apex predator. He is known as the Viper, and for what Vegas sat here and did, what they did on Sunday, he's even not wanting anything to do with it. He doesn't even want his name even associated with that. Rod Woodson, I can understand you're still a little salty about the fact that the Dallas Cowboys beat you out in the Super Bowl, but you got to blame that on your quarterback. You got to blame it on Neil O'Donnell. You can't sit here and punish other teams for it. So why is it that everybody is actually pissed off about this, folks? I will tell you why. Because of the fact that with that win, Seattle punched their ticket to the XFL North Division Championship game against DC, which means, and you heard the crowd chanting, "We want DC." They're going to get DC this Sunday. And the fact is that a 7-3 team in the St. Louis Battlehawks, they are the odd men out. They get eliminated from playoff contention at 7-3 while they watch as a team that was 4-6 is going to play for a shot at the XFL championship.
Yep.
That's the harsh reality. And it's not just me having sour grapes. Everybody on Twitter has been going off about the fact that this literally looks like the ending to the NFL season. And the biggest reason of why might have something to do with the fact that if I actually try to pull this up, did we have the same problem happen at the NFL last season?
With points getting in or whatever.
Teams that basically suck getting in. Case in point. And I'm going to bring it up right now. I'm actually going to share the screen, and I'm going to show you exactly. You remember a certain guy that we actually like to talk about? This guy, Tom Brady, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got in at 8-9 as their division sucked.
Yep.
And that you now see why everybody is upset about this one because of the fact this was something people were actually angry about. They were actually made to the point where they were basically sitting here saying that this is not why I watched the XFL. They were actually upset and pissed off about what happened with the XFL. And the fact is that it's to put it as nice as possible. Either Dwayne or Danny pretty much anybody in the XFL front office has some explaining to do. And I get it. The tiebreakers, I loved it. The fumble issue that happened in that game in Seattle and Vegas, I loved that one because that was the first time I had seen it. I almost lost my shit. All right. I love the rules. I love the kickoffs. I love everything about the XFL except for this right here. The very fact that a 4-6 team who not only lost its last game, but got straight hillbilly curb stomped. Like their names, like they were the next victims of Seth freaking Rollins. And they are going to be playing for a shot at the XFL championship this weekend. Now, granted, I don't think they're going to win, but then again, bruh, 7-3, and you are in the hottest division in the XFL, and you don't even get in on a tie-breaking technicality. I can honestly say this. I never thought I had to say this about Seattle. Great job of sitting here, taking care of business, and finishing the assignments. But good God, if I don't look at y'all and think in my head that you guys are the XFL's version of the Dallas Cowboys, I'd lose my lunch. Real talk.
And let's just go through it. Final standings are like this: in the XFL North, DC Defenders 9-1, Seattle Sea Dragons and St. Louis Battlehawks 7-3, Vegas Vipers 2-8. In the XFL South, Houston Roughnecks were 7-3, Arlington Renegades 4-6, San Antonio Brahmas 3-7, and Orlando Guardians were 1-9.
Now, before we actually go into the playoff preview, folks, and just give you a heads up, we all know the XFL Fantasy is actually going through. It's actually gotten an upgrade for the playoffs called XFL Boxes. What it is that you will actually pick who you think will win that game, and depending on how good you are at bingo or tic-tac-toe in some cases, so which means don't play my wife because she might kick my ass in it, there are, at least for what I'm seeing here, 9 squares if we count the middle square, which actually is a free space in this case. Instead of bingo, you're getting tic-tac-toe, so to speak. What the center square is going to be is the team that you pick to win. All around that square is options as far as what could possibly happen in this game. Now, you're just picking the team to win, but if any of those options actually happen, you actually win this thing. And 10 winners, 10, which seems to be a very funny number today. 10 winners each earn entries into the prize draw by getting strings of correct props in any of the playoff matchup contests. Any of the 3. I say 3 because we're talking the North Division, the South Division, and the XFL Championship game. 10 winners will receive a VIP experience for 2 to a 2024 home opener of their choice, which means that in some cases, my wife and I could get the vacation we deserved or need because we could be taking a trip to St. Louis to clown around with 38,000 people. And before we even go on, big congrats to the St. Louis to Battle Dome for having not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4, but 5 times the biggest crowds in XFL history, as confirmed by both ESPN, XFL, and even confirmed by yours truly, El Capitan. That's a damn big honor to have because this is a city that needed football, got football, and damn sure ain't planning to give it up because there's already season tickets, I believe, for San Antonio, St. Louis, and I believe there's some for Houston going on right now as we speak. And the other teams are most likely be following suit. Seattle, we hope, will be following suit, which means Seattle, I called your fan base out last week. You showed up this week. Keep that shit going. But playoff pick time, Reese. We already know who's in. Let's start with the South. Probably the easiest one we can pick on because I want to see if Bob Stoops actually still got it. That's my biggest thing. Does Bob Stoops still have what it takes? Does he have the stroke? Does he have the will and the drive to lead the Renegades to an upset over the Houston Roughnecks? Or will it be Wade Phillips going to yet another championship game? And this time he may hear Omaha a lot because it is speculated that Peyton Manning may actually jump in and we might even get a nice little Manning cast outside the NFL. Just putting that out there, we might.
Peyton Manning and Rock. That would be like epic right there.
That would be insane. As if Saturday Night Live wouldn't be enough, that would be insane.
Yeah. As far as as far as how I see this game going, yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Scoring wise for that XFL Pick'em boxes, you get one for, let's see, you get one ticket with 3 correct props in a straight line. If you get 5 correct props across both diagonals, you get 2, which means you got a lot to play for, and you still have a chance to get it done, to drop the hammer for a chance at attending a home opener, getting a VIP experience, which means you could be sitting here raising the people's eyebrow, and you could be possibly sitting here actually meeting my crush before I get to meet her, Miss Danny Garcia. But again, you have options.
Hey, let's see, our XFL South Championship. Let's see. Like, can you tell what the Renegades gotta try to do, but they won't do? Yeah.
Hey! Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was getting all
they tried to
get me all excited and get me pumped up. And then I was like, goes to hell. Shit. Damn it.
Hey, we got to roll this. We got to think about.
It's fine. It's fine. I digress.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I'm sorry. After what I just saw just a couple days ago. Yeah. Why on God's green earth? Why would I take the Renegades to win this game? Yeah.
Because you're crazy like that?
Yeah, maybe crazy, but not that crazy, you know. And
possibly,
like I said, this is a Renegades team that has trouble scoring because what did I say? Only twice, I believe, this season they've gotten 20 points or higher. Let's see. Yeah, hold on. Let me check the numbers. Yeah, so outside. All right, so here's the problem. All right, in the games when they can actually score 20 points, let's see.
Okay.
They're 1-1.
Sorry, my daughter apparently is craving pancakes for some weird reason. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But anyways, the Renegades, they've only scored 20 points or more, over 20 points in 2 games this season. Yeah. And their highest scoring one was the overtime loss against DC back in last week.
But here's the problem I've got. Bob Stoops is kind of a mad scientist. Now, if you're trying to figure out what I'm talking about, this is the same Bob Stoops that lost a Big 12 championship game only to get a pass into a BCS championship game against Florida. So, in one way, I kind of see it, but the way Wade Phillips has his team going, the way this team is starting to play, they have actually recovered officially from that slump that these guys were on really a couple of weeks ago. So I can't bring myself to actually picking Arlington, and maybe it's because of the fact that they're so close to Cowboy Stadium that maybe that virus, that bug, that sickening cancer known as Jerry Jones is rubbing itself all over that stadium. to the point where the Renegades are starting to feel the effects. But I would go in Houston. I'm going Houston at least by 10 points. I'm going Houston by 10.
Yeah, and especially considering that in the 2 games that they've played, Houston's outscored Arlington 48-23.
This is insanity at its finest, folks. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, Roughnecks see in the championship, which by the way, will be at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. But then we head to Sunday.
The big one, folks, which I have dubbed which some Seattle fans have dubbed the big payback, and some people have called the passing of the torch, so to speak. Jordan Ta'amu versus Ben DiNucci. 2 guys who pretty much got cast aside by their NFL predecessors in Kansas City and Dallas, respectively, now have an opportunity. Flash Gordon has a chance to sit here and hoist up a championship for the first time in a long time. I believe since the last time he actually played for a Super Bowl title. And then, of course, we got Philip Lindsay, who has been there, has done that, has tried that. But then we have Abram Smith, quite arguably the biggest running back in the XFL. And I use that term immensely when it comes to this guy. There was actually a kid who plays on my son's team who actually reminds me so much of Abram Smith between the power, the elusiveness, and the speed once he's out there in the open field. I think we have a little Abram Smith on our team. So Abram Smith, if you're listening, come over to Washington State and come watch these kids play. Come watch the Bearcats play. That's the best way I can honestly describe it. Hell, we'd love to be able to sit here and see you guys because there could be some player 54s here too. That being said, Seattle they actually played their hearts out. They were playing with a heavy heart this entire game. And DiNucci, he actually got so swag up to about 250 that he actually was doing the fandango on the field after a touchdown. I wish I could make this up, but he actually did the fandango and a little bit of staying alive on the field. And the guy's got some pretty good dance moves. I'm actually going to give him a 10 on this one. So if Dance with the Stars, you're looking for a new contestant or even at least a new judge, rest in peace, sir. I would honestly say this guy, Ben DiNucci, he has that. He has it. I'm sorry, Jericho style. He has it. That being said, as much as I like this dream story of the Sea Dragons fighting and playing hard, playing their hearts out for Chris Smith, I'm going to honestly sit here and say that this is where the Cinderella story, I feel like, comes to an end. As good as the 3-headed dragon has been, as good as that 3-headed Hydra of Seattle has been for these guys, I feel like DC has always been that team. And yet, for some crazy reason, people still seem to forget, and they learned it because of the Super Bowl, that it is still, no matter the league, no matter the team, Jordan Ta'amu learned from Patrick Mahomes while under him last year. It is still too easy for Jordan Ta'amu and the DC Defenders to go to the XFL Championship because
It's free real estate.
Just call it like I see it. But that's just me. I make it as nice as I can, but I'm taking DC to battle Houston for the title, for the title in a couple of weeks. So that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah. Man, like DC, they just been that crew all season, man. And Seattle, I had to say they had to come through when they needed to,
and they did.
Right now they're the hottest team entering the playoffs,
which is good in some cases, but it's almost like pretty much what I have said and has been proven to me. Humility has to be learned by every single team. St. Louis learned a couple weeks ago against Seattle. Houston learned it against, shocking enough, Seattle. DC learned it against Orlando. When it comes down to it, and they almost learned it last week against the Brahmas, against San Antonio. So the way I look at it is that if you were basically going to learn humility, the best time to learn it is before the playoffs start. You don't want to go into playoffs on a loss, which is what Arlington's biggest problem is now. But you don't want to go in lackluster, which, in fairness, is kind of what Arlington's going through. So all signs point to Houston, D.C. XFL Championship. Seattle likes to play upset. They like to play the underdog. With the beer snake going crazy, the lemon drops going wild, the possibility that you could have members of the Battle Necks in D.C. because of the fact that they feel like they are the team that deserves to be there. My biggest question is going to be, will the real Seattle Sea Dragons please stand up? That's going to be my biggest question for them heading into Sunday. Because the fact is that we have seen the Sea Dragons literally go toe-to-toe with these defenders. The last time, I believe it was a one point loss.
Yep.
You guys got to learn how to count for starters. I know you guys like to play balls to the wall. I know you like to play gung-ho. I know you guys like that whole concept, basically sit here and win or go home. But when it comes down to it, if you guys had beaten DC, this wouldn't even be a conversation to be having at this moment. The fact is that St. Louis probably you'd be battling St. Louis in the North Division Championship, possibly in Seattle, which means I would be getting tickets and be sitting here calling off from work because I'm going to that shit. But when it comes down to it, DC escapes this one. DC gets the win. I think Abram Smith actually eclipses 100 yards. I believe Jordan Ta'amu sits here and actually starts playing like Patrick Mahomes. I believe De'Aaron King starts playing a little bit more like Michael Vick. When it comes down to it, DC has been that team. Even with that one loss, it was still a nail-biter of a loss, and DC's still been that team to beat. So I'm going DC in this one. I'm saying it's going to be a battle of the ones, and by the time it's all said and done, somebody's going to be the twos, but I think DC's going to be the ones in this game.
Yep. Just to give... Man, that's right. Both of these games are really close. Yeah, defenders outscored, 56-52 in the two games, of course.
So I like the nail
week
biter
one.
concept. I like it.
Week one. Yeah, they had to come from behind. So 22-18 victory there. And then, of course, week 8, the 34-33 matchup in Seattle. That could have put the Sea Dragons out, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Dragons, third time's the charm here. But do I actually see it happening?
That's the biggest question. Do you?
No. Because, like I said, DC, they're coming in hot right now, and you know what? Here's my telling moment of the entire weekend. All right, well, maybe aside from St. Louis, I'm just kicking ass and taking names. DC really didn't have anything to play for Saturday, but yet, when it was crunch time,
they stepped up.
Winning a game that they really didn't necessarily have to win because, like I said, it wouldn't have affected their standing. They knew they were going to be the overall number one seed, and they were going to be. And that, they're going to host at least the XFL North Championship. And then should they get to the XFL Championship itself, they would be the designated home team. Which, by the way, now gets me to a very interesting point. Damn, you actually eliminated the home team from the postseason there, DC. Hey, that I can imagine how those fans. Basically. But then again, if Houston damn, this is gonna suck if it's you said DC, because did you cheer for the division rival, or do you cheer for the team that basically was the death nail to your regular season?
Considering the fact that I have been to Texas, and they are a prideful state, and they don't always make the smartest decisions in the world or in the country, but football wise, you don't go against a team from Texas unless you know for sure that team may not get it done. And as good as Wade Phillips is, Richie Barlow is better. I'm gonna be realistic about this one. I hate DC with a passion just because of the fact that they're in our division. I called them out many moons ago because of the fact they had a couple of mobile quarterbacks. They had a couple of Justin Fields on their squad, but they've upgraded. They started playing like quarterbacks. They started running like quarterbacks. They started actually doing shit that quarterbacks do. So I cannot knock them for that. But what I can do is I can at least sit here and I can acknowledge exactly what DC is. And Chisel Dawes said it a couple of weeks ago that he predicted DC to be the XFL champions. He picked them pretty much to do it. A lot of people are picking the defenders to do it. My biggest thing is that Seattle's got to live with the mentality of why not us. Houston has to live with the concept title of why not us. Arlington has to live with the concept of why not us. Because right now, this is DC's championship to lose and fumble. Don't be like Tom Brady in that Super Bowl. Do what DC has done best all season long. Rely on your ground game. Rely on the passing game. Make sure your defense is up and ready for the point, because you know for a fact Ben DiNucci is notorious for interceptions. The team's notorious for interceptions, so you have to get it done. But you gotta bring the noise, you gotta bring the thunder, and you gotta bring hell. You have to understand with the snake train, with the beer snake train, literally getting piled up to the point where that building is so sold out. Marquez, if you hear this, get me a DC Defender shirt, at least at that standpoint, so that way I could actually sit here and feel like I was actually there. And trust me, that beer between you and I, that will go down. If Seattle makes to the XFL championship game, I promise you this much: if neither one of us can make it to San Antonio, we will have that beer. We will go live. We will do what we do best, because that is exactly what the DNA is all about. However, Reese, I believe we've wasted enough time.
Yep.
I do believe we've wasted enough time. Ladies and gentlemen, we know why you're here. We know why you're entertained, why you're enjoying the fun. And let me just say flat out, this has been an absolute pleasure to cover the XFL season from start to finish and to give you all the shenanigans. However, Reese, do you know what happens when people sit here and try to go around and find out with this team? Do you know what happens when they just decide to just give us a reason to unveil the final Elite Eight of the regular season, because then we go into a Final Four and playoff time? All the haters!
XFL teams, it's time to find out who just made the list.
See, Dwayne? See, Danny? You guys are missing out here. We can do this all day. We can do this all week. It's what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, the final list of Collision for the regular season has arrived, which means I promised something special was going to be here. And I can tell you right now, that's something special right here in my lap.
Or bring it out, but don't worry, folks.
I'm not bringing that. No, I'm not bringing this out until we get to 4. Till we get to the final 4 of our last regular season week of Collision. That is when I'm actually bringing out the Thunder. That's when I'm bringing out the Lightning. That's when it's going to get fun.
Yeah, but the big one, that definitely comes out at number 1. But anyway,
without question,
let's get into it. Number 8. Oh boy, who do I want to give this one to?
Oh,
actually, no, can I tie this one?
It's the last list. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're kind of lost on the list of Collision, we break this into two teams. Now, I don't know if Reese is actually going to go with it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to put Reese's number 8 on the Dummy Awards for this year because, well, you know, I am that guy. And we are going to definitely be doing the dummies. And this is no exception. So, Reese, you said you had 2.
Yep.
Who is your first recipient of our
Dummy, yeah.
Yeah.
Dummy,
Yeah.
dummy,
Yeah.
I love Eli. My number 1 dummy would go to the Arlington Renegades. I mean, okay, so DC hooks y'all up with a favor and guarantees y'all a spot in the playoffs, the final spot in the playoffs. Well, yeah, well, at least y'all have a home game against the team that you're going to visit the very next weekend. And y'all only put up 9 points in one of the most dismal efforts ever. Y'all better thank goodness that San Antonio coughed that game up yesterday.
Breach.
Yeah. Or coughed that game up Saturday because, yeah, if that's the effort y'all gave on Sunday, yeah, there's no wonder nobody's picking y'all to win this coming Saturday. As a fact, I would tell you this. I would rather watch the final 4 hours of the NFL draft before watching what Houston's going to do to y'all this Saturday because, like I said, Week 10 was a preview of it. What happened Saturday in the XFL South Championship? Yeah, that's going to be even worse. Matter of fact, y'all going to look like what St. Louis could have done had Orlando not decided to show up. Yeah. So there's dummy number 1. Dummy number 2. Oh, Vegas.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Man, I can't think of a team that looked so good for a majority, even though y'all had a losing record. But then you finished the season playing like a team that had a losing record. I was like, where was the effort from y'all? Granted, I know the season is over and y'all ain't had nothing to play for, but damn, y'all aren't professional athletes, are you not? Where's your pride? Where's your dignity? Come on, man. Y'all represent. As a fact, I would tell you this. Y'all might as well have been the Oakland Vipers this season because just like the A's and their ballpark was empty a couple days ago, that's how y'all was playing on Sunday night in that finale, even though y'all was on the road. But still, Vipers, yeah. Yeah. If you're not hearing them voices in the head, let me tell you what they're saying. They said, man, forget Vegas. Y'all ain't even worthy enough to represent Reno. Y'all ain't even represent Carson City.
Oh!
Y'all ain't even worthy enough to represent Henderson.
Damn!
Yeah. As a matter of fact, y'all ain't even worthy enough to call yourself Vipers. Y'all should call yourselves worms.
Garter snakes?
Garter snakes. Hell, matter of fact, electric eels.
Oh, damn.
But
Damn. Come on.
Actually, don't even call yourself electric eels because electric would imply that y'all actually have some energy. Yeah.
Y'all are not the most electrifying team in the XFL, is basically what he's saying. So is it safe to say, Reese, that I'm assuming you have somebody at number 7?
No, like I said, I'm tying to.
You're tying it. Okay, fair enough. Actually going to go with him on this one in almost the exact same order. Arlington, all you had to do was at least show that you want this, Renegades, but yet y'all didn't. And Vegas, who the hell are you guys going to sit here and actually show up every single game of the flipping season, but yet you play hard in the first half, and then you play like shit the entire second half, and you know it for a fact of what is necessary to get done in Seattle against the Sea Dragons, and you guys decide to just say, we left our talents in Henderson or Barstow or Bernalillo for that damn matter. Are you kidding me right now? Congratulations there, Vegas. The one time you actually wanted the people to actually have your back and cheer for you, y'all played like Neil O'Donnell in Super Bowl 30. That's how embarrassing y'all became. And then, Bob, dude, I haven't seen you play this bad since you pretty much got snapped by a guy who couldn't even play NFL quarterback according to experts, yet has more wins as an actual quarterback than you. All right, but I digress. Listen, Vegas, congratulations. You are the final regular season recipients of the award known as simply two simple words.
Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah.
Which brings us to number 6. Reese, who you got?
Now, this one is a tough one.
The fact that you even had to do that just kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah, but sorry, Orlando. Yeah. Now, while I respected the game on this one,
Of course.
but in the end, there's always got to be somebody on the wrong side of history. Yeah, and unfortunately, Orlando, y'all's that team was still on the wrong side of history, giving up a new XFL record of 53 points. Oh, Lord.
Oh, boy.
Orlando, yeah. I was about to say,
Do it. Say it.
I'm not. Yeah, I was about to say, you are not Groot. Because Guardians, y'all shouldn't be in any galaxy right now.
It is safe to say, when it comes to my number 6, Reese pretty much hit it on the head. Y'all just need to go home and reevaluate what the hell went wrong, because there was little to nothing that went right, except for the fact that you guys got your one, which was DC. Orlando, you are also my number 6, and come on, let's be realistic. Was there any doubt? Despite the fact that you guys pretty much finished the season at 1-9. No, that's not besides that. The reason I made a promise to you guys that after you beat DC, that you will never see the Dummy Award ever again this season. The fact is that this is the last Elite 8 list of collision that we have, and that we're going down to the 4 after this weekend. It's actually a worthy moment. Congratulations, Orlando. You are not the worst team in the XFL
At least
this weekend. That title goes to Arlington and whatever dumpster fire that is. Which brings us to number 5.
Yep.
And I'll actually do the honors for number 5. Because this is the last one before we actually unveil this bad boy here.
Yep.
Number 5 for me actually goes to San Antonio. This is a team that pretty much had its back against the wall the entire damn season. And the fact is that with as much true grit as they can, they fought and they fought and they fought and they fought and they fought. And it came down to one kick. Now, granted, as I said, Chisel Adonis and all I get is probably going to give that kicker hell on his game highlight commentary, which you can see on YouTube. Hopefully before this week is over, hopefully before the playoffs start this weekend. But I will say flat out, San Antonio, between your fan base, between your team, between Hines Ward, I think Hines Ward has a good potential to be a good coach. He just got to get his quarterback situation nailed down to a T. That's probably one of the biggest things. He's got to get a running game established fully. He's got to basically get his receivers. You're Hines Ward. You are going to be one of the greatest Steelers receivers of all time. So this display of really cracktastic receivers actually worries me a little bit when it comes to San Antonio. But, again, this was the first season. I still think, honestly, Hines Ward, number 1, start paying attention to basically players that are possibly going to be trying out for the XFL this season. Pay attention to them, especially the ones in college. Number 2, find a damn treadmill, because the fact is that when you basically look more pregnant than not 1, not 2, not 3, but all 4 of my baby mothers and my wife, you have a problem. Mm-hmm. And just to be clear, before Reese actually gives his pick, I didn't get to sit here and actually do something as far as those Galaxy comments. Arlington, Vegas, Orlando, I'd rather be the cup and 2 girls, 1 cup over and over again than watch another game with any of you jabronis and the way y'all played over the weekend. Now we can continue. Reese, who's your number 5?
Oh, yeah, this one I'm saving. Yeah, I got no drama, but I'm going to save the Brahmas. Yep. San Antonio gets my number 5, and I'm going to say this. Growing pains were expected for this team, but they played all the way to the bitter end, and they were in a lot of games, which I got to admit, I thought they were going to be the homecoming team pretty much for this league, but
it looked promising.
They actually exceeded expectations. Granted, they didn't make the playoffs, but still, this team showed up. They gave some heart, and I had to say, like, a couple of teams that they took Houston in overtime to 1 game. They were close. Like I said, they were close against DC. Yeah, play here or there. They actually could have swept Arlington and actually could have gotten into the playoffs.
Hell, they even held their own against Houston. So they have
even going week 1 against St.
Louis.
Yeah.
It's like they have the talent, they have the skills, they have the coaching. That's great.
Yeah.
Finish the story. All pun intended.
Yeah. Let's bring out that gold now.
Well, because let's just make one thing clear, folks. Reese and I have not seen each other's list. We've never seen each other's list completely. And any of the times we've actually done this. So this Final 4 is special for all of you. Brain, Danny, it's time for y'all to smell what Team Collision's cooking. Yes, folks, we had to go old school for this one for a specific reason. I made a promise, and I said I would do it by hook or by crook. If I could find it, I would make it happen. And in true Collision fashion, and special thanks to our boys at the Bleacher Brothers for this one, we did find it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Siegfried Rock Memorial Championship is here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I honestly gotta say, The Rock cannot lay a smackdown on my candy ass for this one. But we do have 4 teams that are eligible for this opportunity, for this title. Obviously, the 4 teams we have not picked, which would be Seattle, Houston, DC, and St. Louis. That being said, Rock and Reese, because of the fact that we just brought this out, I'm gonna do a little swerve. Who will be our
Whose house?
fourth place recipient? I will give them a gold 2. I'll give them from gold 2. What the hell?
Yeah. All right. My number 4 team. Yeah, I'm giving this one to the Roughnecks. I mean, yeah, I wish I could say something nice about this one, but dude, that game was just pathetic. It was like, hey, Roughnecks, I apologize to y'all, but yeah, I know y'all had to play Arlington and whatever, but damn. Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
that game was just, yeah. I mean, compared to how the other 3 teams played,
yeah, okay. I can understand that.
Somebody had to go low on this one in Houston. Yeah,
it's fair.
Unfortunately.
Well,
number 4.
My number 4 is going to the Seattle Sea Dragons. And it's not, and let me just, Seattle, let me talk to you. When it comes down to it, this is not sour grapes. Because honestly, when this, I can put it like this. My list went through about three changes. That's how big this was. I had you guys pretty much at the bottom. I had you guys even getting the dummy, award. Consider this a gift. Because you played with heart. You played for a fallen teammate. You played like you wanted it, which is exactly what I expected. You got tested by St. Louis, you got tested by DC, and you stepped the hell up, and you finally started getting on a nice little winning streak at the beginning of the year, to the point where you almost beat DC, beat St. Louis to the point where the last week of the season was a big damn deal. So I gave you number 4. That is a gift because the winning streak, the almost, the definite, and the inevitable, which is the 4 main games that literally sat here and made you guys exactly who you are. I wish you luck in the North Championship game on Sunday, but the fact is that deep down inside and places I ain't going to even try and sit here and talk about because this is not group therapy or Fight Club, I'm hoping that DC sits here and humbles your asses like there's no tomorrow. I expect humility coming to the Sea Dragons, but for now, you guys number 4. You guys are not even my champion. Which brings us to our top 3. And just because of, me, I'm going to make this guy number 3 Universal.
Yep.
And don't worry, Dolphin. Yours is coming. It'll be there Friday.
Yep.
At least in theory.
All right. Well, the team I'm going to acknowledge at number 3. Yep. It will be those very Sea Dragons. Yep. Yeah, because Seattle actually earned this one because of the previous week. You had to go into St. Louis knowing that you could have clinched this one right then and there, and you had to win it, and you did win it. And then you got to sit back, see what they did, and then you had pretty much the numbers figured out. And
in fairness, anything you can do, we can do better, so to speak.
Well, not necessarily better, but you did just enough on the right side of the ball, namely the defensive side.
There's that.
Yep. But, yeah, unfortunately, Yeah, it might go all for naught for you for Sunday. So enjoy this one while you can there, Sea Dragons.
And ironically enough, apparently we play musical chairs because Houston was my number 3. And the only reason is this is a team that pretty much started off hot, stumbled, and then rose above the animosity and came back and got it done when it mattered the most. Now, I would have preferred for them to be able to beat DC and make this a very interesting week 9 and 10 or 8, 9, and 10, but Houston did at least sit here and finish up the assignment, and I'm giving it mainly because Wade Phillips apparently still got it. That little holy shit moment from over the weekend Wade, I cannot sit here and hate you for that one. So number 3 for me goes to the Houston Roughnecks. Thank your coach for that one.
Then our runners-up.
Yes, our final 2 of week 10.
Yep. And runner-up this week is going to the Defenders. Damn. I gotta say, like what I said earlier, had nothing on the line, didn't really affect what was going to happen to them as far as their overall standing in the playoffs, but yet in crunch time, they showed up. They pretty much snatched the Brahmas' hearts out. And DC is saying, hey, there's a reason we're 9 and 1, and we got to make everybody remember why. So, Defenders, you get my number 2 spot.
Which brings us myself to my number 2 spot. And again, we hadn't seen each other's list. So this is big. Number 2 for me goes to those very same snake trains. That beer snake train is the good shit. The lemon drops are phenomenal, but yet they're just not there yet. Finish off, win the XFL championship, and then we'll have ourselves a conversation. DC Defenders, you are my number 2, which, in fairness, in all honesty, means that Rockin' Reese and the captain, Team Collision, has united on our overall winner, and I'm going to give this overall winner exactly what they deserve because even the great one was very happy and proud of this city, and I'm proud of this city because of the fact, well, I'll let him say it.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of the fact that we sat here and had the biggest sellouts, the biggest fan bases, the most passionate fan base, the proudest fan base, the biggest heart, the greatest pride, if you can't see the intensity, the pride, and the love I have for my hometown, you ain't paying attention. Ladies and gentlemen, my inaugural recipient of the Siegfried Rock Memorial Championship belt, and Reese, I believe this is yours as well, goes to arguably the biggest, best sports city in all of sports entertainment, the People's Team, the team that everybody wants to see in the playoffs, the St. Louis Bellhawks. And I am the happiest mother on the planet. And let's be honest, next week will be a whole different story. But as far as I'm concerned for regular season, and I'm almost certain we can do, yes, we've had some ups and downs. We've had some bumps. I've gone off on A.J. McCarron more times than I can count. This man knows me because he asked me how many heart attacks, how many strokes, how many margaritas, how many drinks have I sat here.
And bottles of Pepto-Bismol and
massive, like, insanity and
rolls of Rolaids.
And the fact is that these Bellhawks have given me every single reason to love what I'm doing. Love being back in the writing mode, back in the podcasting mode, back in the sports reporting mode. And the fact remains, there is one thing I appreciate the most. The very fact that a title I actually scratched, clawed, busted my ass to hunt down and find goes to the team I feel should be in should be in the XFL playoffs. And my regular season champion, no matter the records, it's all about heart with me. You all know this. It goes to the Hawks.
Yeah, Hawks, like I said, congratulations on making history. A new XFL record, 53 points. Only team to actually score 50 points in the league. And this is even dating back to the original XFL. And matter of fact, I believe they were tied for either second or third biggest blowout in XFL history. Yeah.
The amount of records that were broken by the Battlehawks this year, from the fans all the way to the players, the fact that Anthony Beck was able to sit here and say his message to the fans via Twitter, and hopefully, honestly, I had never felt more emotional about football in my life. And I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a Rams fan. I love football with a passion. I love this. I love the sports. I love the sport. I never got to sit here and play in the pros or the college because of my injuries. But I'll tell you right now, after everything that has transpired with my hometown, not to mention everything that's transpired with me on a personal level, from pretty much dying 4 years ago to being able to actually do this madness, these collision courses with my buddy, my brother, to being able to actually come here at this very moment in this very ring and lay the smackdown every single week. I can't get it any better than that. And honestly, this is more of a personal victory for me than anything else. And I am damn proud of the way my team played. I'm proud of the way my boys played, my brothers, my players, my hometown. I love it. I love that we got our moment in the sun. And I can't expect anything less. I wouldn't want anything less. We did it. Let's put it like that. They won't crown us champions, but we will crown ourselves champions. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yep. And then let's do again one more time. Everybody, championship weekend goes down like this: Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. Houston Roughnecks will host the Arlington Renegades. Then at Sunday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Plus, DC Defenders will host the Seattle Sea Dragons, and then the winners will play for the championship in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Saturday, May 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on ABC. And yeah, check it out. Check it out. We are here, XFL playoff time. And before we go, also want to do a couple of extra promos real quick.
You want to start or you want me to start?
This one. Yeah. Of course, as we all know, since we're in a football mood, Thursday, NFL draft, captain's hosting. I'm going to be with them. So will Duncan Dad. So will Uncle Rico. Make sure you check it out.
We also have special guests as well, so don't worry.
Hey, Billy Z will be there. Yeah, pretty much most of the Bleacher Brothers crew. And hey, if you guys want to get in, it's still wide open. It's called BDSN NFL Draft Coverage. That's the name of the event. Takes place Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And make sure y'all join us. We will be going all weekend long. And then after the draft, I may have a special coming up Sunday. Yeah, so make sure y'all check that out. So, if y'all do miss any of the draft, y'all want to get all the final stuff, we'll be covering it all weekend long for you. Captain, what else do we got?
Well, we got my boy Burnsy, Eric Burns. He'll be doing Deuces Wild in a little over about 90 minutes from now. He'll be going on at 6 p.m. Pacific time with Deuces Wild. We got Joe Quills coming there about 15 minutes after with Philly Guy Speaks. We got Sarah Rosendahl doing her TikTok Talks, episode 9, no less. She'll be going live on that one tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Of course, you've obviously heard about the NFL draft coverage. We will be going live about 30 minutes prior to the start of the draft. We will be doing that live. We'll be doing that one as crazy as possible. We will be having every single thing you need to know. We'll be covering the first round of this one in this episode. And in case you want to watch it just a little bit more, we do have the NFL Draft Watch Party with Tim Claiborne that will actually be going on at about close to the same time as we are. So once we get done with the first round, you can always jump right over to Tim Claiborne to get the rest of that madness. Now you're cooking with Bleacher Brothers on the 27th, as well as Joe closing another episode of Philly Guy Speaks. And our quintessential brother from another mother, Mr. Tony B, actually coming back with Into the Night. Tony Bruno will be there on the 28th. We'll have the MLB update with Big Ben and K-Win on the 28th as well. Next week, May the 1st, we started out hot with a all-new Palm Beach Capo show with Bleacher Brothers. I believe AJ and I will actually both be sitting here actually joining up on that show. I believe even Duncan Dad will be stopping through. Our buddy Luca will be at Retro Ads on the 1st, and we'll have Philly Guy Speaks once again on the 2nd, and an all-new Bleacher Brothers show on the 3rd. And I know for a fact that we'll have all the craziness of this bombshell trade that has sent A.A. Ron Rodgers back to, or at least to New York. I almost thought I was talking about Brett Favre for a minute there because we've saw this bullshit before. Yeah. But this is going to be fun to watch. We're going to be fun to enjoy. We're going to have a lot of craziness going on later on this year. And in case anybody is starting to figure out their heads if they're not ready for this madness, it's playoff time. The USFL is going crazy. The USFL Aftermath will actually premiere. Reese, what do you think? Tuesday, Wednesday? How do you want to run with it?
Let's see. Let's go.
Same bad time, same bad channel?
Yeah.
Oh, you heard there, folks. Next week, 2:30, we are back with the USFL Aftermath. That's the beauty of the Aftermath, folks. We can just take one and just jump right into it. So hopefully we'll see.
I did not to mention this. You talked about playoffs, of course, Saturday, even though I don't have the event up yet. Saturday, of course, 3 Eastern, New Pacific. We'll have Rocket Shocks. Of course, I'll be covering anything that's going on with the NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course,
fuck LeBron James.
XFL championships. Yeah. Let's see what else. Of course, covering anything going on with the draft.
Give me 5 minutes.
Loaded show. Also, I will be covering. Yeah, and if I could get my friend Claire on this week, I want to see if we can talk to her about the what just happened, the Chevron championship that just happened. Of course, that being one of the first 5 majors of the LPGA. Yeah, by the way, congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to Lydia Vu. Yeah. Of course, we're going to have baseball talk. Yeah, because, of course, MLB going high. USFL. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have mad craziness. So like I said, Rock Jocks, Saturday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Yeah. And what a load of stuff we got into. Man, what a time to be a sports fan, huh?
It's pretty much the long overdue time for us to be sports fans. And if you aren't a sports fan yet, we definitely will do something for you guys. We'll get you guys in this party. That being said, it has been fun, XFL, but we're not done yet. We still have a playoff to get ready for, which means that illustrious Siegfried Rock championship belt will be given to whoever is our new number 1. It's down to 4 teams: Arlington, Houston, Seattle, DC, who will actually bring the thunder, bring the noise in the first division championships of the XFL season. And with them already sitting here talking about next season and the possibility of expansions, we're not even done yet, because we will give you guys the info on those expansions next week. If anything happens between now and then, be sure to check out the Markcast on YouTube. Check out Rockin' Jocks, because I'm pretty sure something might happen then. And if there's any kind of XFL news between now and the championship games, we will get you guys covered at the NFL draft. And it's time to basically get the Red Kingdom its moment in the sun. And damn, like they needed it. Holy mother of hell, it is going to be a fun time.
All I'm just praying is for once, can we please not have a Gracie Hunt story? Yeah.
Allegedly. Better yet, can we not have a Jackson Mahomes saga at this draft too, since it is in Kansas City? I don't know. Brittany, I'm good with. You know, I'm actually good with her. It's Jackson that's fucking bugging the piss out of me. In any event, folks, we're talking about NFL draft stuff. We'll talk about that on Thursday. On behalf of Rock and Reese, this is. Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. No. I did that wrong. On behalf of the real rock and roller, the original Black Ric Flair, the man who is the true hurricane of Carolina, Rock and Reese. Good job on you guys being 3-1. Good luck tonight.
I hope we're
And I have to pretty much just sit back and just enjoy the fun because I got baseball. I got the Giants. I got the Giants to just lay a smackdown on momentarily. I am your host, the original asshole, the El Capitan himself, the innovator, the revolutionary, the most visionary. I am the Captain, Ron freaking Johnson. Folks, this has been the Aftermath. We'll see you guys next week. And again, as we've said before, and as I have said time and time and time again, if you guys ain't part of the fun, you guys ain't paying attention. So, on behalf of all of us here, at No Filter, Bleacher Brothers, and Team Collision, and the Aftermath, big thoughts and prayers again goes out to our boy Chris Smith. You will be missed, you will be loved, but you will be remembered and never forgotten. And you may be the reason why I actually donned a Seattle Sea Dragons jersey just in your honor, just to show my appreciation for all you did this year. Rest well, rest in love, rest in peace, Mr. Smith. You were one of those rare ones. We thank you. We love you. We'll see you next time. And that being said, folks, I think it's time for us to get the hell out of here, Reese. You guys have suffered the wrath of the Aftermath. Now, we'll give you the chance to, and Christopher Daniels, you cannot be mad at us. We are still too sweet, but you will get the chance to worship us now.
Listen. I am right, ain't no breaking me. I am right, no shaking me. I am right, ain't no earthquake is me. I am right, I am right, I am right. It ain't no breaking me. I am right, it ain't no shaking me. I am right, ain't no earthquake is me. I am right, I am right, I am right. Beside me before you try to do me a solid. Take a short walk in my shoes, my boots, my kicks, my flip-flops, whatever. I done seen rain, I ain't just talking weather, but I'm a survivor. Shame on you if you thought I would ever leave. I'ma be right there where the legends be. I am unbreakable, I'm rock, I am never weak. I feel weak sometimes, but you'll never see. I'm going through one of the roughest times of my entire life right now. Still I got a slight smile, knowing it's gonna be better days like Tupac said. And we gon' make it like even them two locks said. Who not better about something? Life's about struggling and overcoming your shortcomings, not about huffing and puffing and crying without doing nothing. Take them sour lemons, make lemonade and stop. I am right.